All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second SheepCast. And I'm your host, Armand, with my co-host Wooloo as well. And we have some amazing guests with us today. Some very crazy guests in all senses of the word, as well. And I'm very happy to be there. We are we're going to be having a very nice conversation today. A lot of discussions about formats, the IDC, and stuff like that. So we've prepared something that should be pretty nice. And yeah, in case you don't know me, I am the main interviewer for Sheep Esports. I take care of everything, talking to pro players in the IDC, sometimes the LTA as well, and the international events. And I'm very happy again to be there. Wooloo as well is here. Wooloo, do you want to say something to the viewers?
Yeah, hello. I take care of leaks at Sheep Esports, and I will take care today of flaming the LEC Formats. Nice to see you all.
Yeah, and aside from you as well, we have the lovely Carzzy as well. Now that the season is over for you, at least you can rebrand into being like kind of a top model and like going on the podcast. And I mean, you have to make ends meet as well since you lost everything on Yamato Coin, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I need to make some money back because Yamato Coin took everything from me. Right now I'm at my grandma's house.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, it looks like a very well-maintained house in any case, but it's nice to have you here. And last but not least, obviously, we have Jankos, world's finalist, NLC third place, I believe, right? Couldn't make it to Masters. And yeah, I mean, Jankos, how has co-streaming been treating you since it's the off-season now?
I watched every Carzzy game, and just because of that, it was worth it. Because I got to watch
What?
every single game from Carzzy the whole year.
And were you a hate watcher or?
I don't know. No, I mean, it was entertaining though. You guys were very entertaining. You guys improved a lot in Summer Split, but it is what it is.
I mean, Carzzy did better than NAVI at least, though.
That's
I
true.
mean, that was
And then
not too
Rogue.
difficult.
That's also true.
Fair enough. All right. Well, in any case, with that out of the way, just to explain to our viewers again, basically today we're going to be talking a lot about formats. That's the main topic. I know, obviously, a lot of people here already know about what happened this year, especially in the summer split. I think there's been a lot of criticism towards the LEC format, and we're going to be bouncing on that, trying to evaluate what makes a good format, first of all, then go back over the year 2025 for Europe, because obviously we're all Europeans here. And at the end, we'll try to build the ideal format as well and try to see what the perfect future could be for the LEC as well. But yeah, I mean, Wooloo as well, I know you have a lot to say, and let's just jump into our first topics, right? Because I think the main aspect that a lot of people have been talking about, and this discourse has been going on since 2023 when the LEC changed format and went to go to the three-split formats kind of structure. Is the three-split format currently in Europe a good thing or not? And that's the big question, because a lot of people are a bit nostalgic about the two splits. I know obviously we've gotten to see like some editions like First 10 and stuff, but Wooloo, could you start by just telling us what are your thoughts about all of this that we have in Europe right now? What are the positives and negatives about the three splits?
Well, I guess the positive, I will start with the positives, because I have more to say maybe about negatives, but I think the positive is that we now have first hand, which is probably, I guess, why Riot decided to make three splits. Yeah, but I think I prefer as a viewer two splits rather than three splits, because I feel like three splits go by very quickly, so I don't have a lot of time to attach to teams and players and see, like, enjoy like how they evolve during a split. For me it feels a lot quicker, but I would be really curious, like from a pro player perspective, for Jankos and Carzzy, like if you also feel like as a player when you have two splits, if it allows for longer splits and if you have more time like to improve as a player and as a team. I think some players have said this on interview before, but I would be really curious what you guys think.
Yeah, it's really nice because obviously we have two very different perspectives as well. We have Jankos as a co-streamer, Carzzy as a pro as well. It feels a bit weird not to call Jankos a pro anymore, but yeah,
But he's a former pro. I mean, maybe
right.
he played for Nord. He's still a pro.
Yeah, true. Jankos, would you like to tell us what you think about the 3-splits formats?
No, I think Carzzy should start because I feel like his perspective is the most important as a player, and then I can like chip in on the consumer side.
I mean, I was just about to say the same. I thought that you should start with your years of experience.
Okay,
I think you can...
I'm sorry.
Okay, sure. I feel like, especially that last one, Summer Split, I feel like it's too short. I do think we should have BO3s, and I do think that system should stay, that we have BO3s. I feel like LCK done it well with the Legend group and with the Rising group or the Rise group, where they had bunch of BO3s, and then it would be cross group games and also group games, but they had like many games. I feel like when LEC did in Summer Split, we had 2 groups and each team played each other one time only in a BO3 format. And I personally think that was just not enough. I'm not really sure how do you fix it because we only have 2-3 days of playing per week, unlike LCK who has all 5 days of games. And I don't really know if LEC would ever be able to invest that much money into production to actually maintain a broadcast for 5 days. Probably it's never going to happen. But if I were to imagine me being a player, I would feel like, from NAVI perspective, for example, they came in the league, or we came in the league, and there was no way of really improving anything because roster was new. It was Summer Split, and there were only 3 or 4 BO3s left to play, and then you are basically out for the whole year. So in case any team made roster changes, like even Vitality did throughout the season, right? Because Niski was removed and we got Flashy instead. Vitality didn't really have a lot of time to play on stage. I mean, actually, they made playoffs, so they had more time than Navi. But imagine that you are the last place in your group, and then you're just completely out. They have no more chances, and I feel like that's very brutal to be a new player and to play in a format where you play a couple of games and you are basically out for a split or possibly for half a year, since this is Summer Split, right? I do think Summer Split should be more punishing and teams should also get punished for not having a strong roster for the whole year. But I just feel like we should have at least, more BO3s, either cross group or just rematches.
Yeah.
For Summer Split. And then I don't even fully remember like Winter, honestly.
I mean, Winter was basically the old formats, like best of ones, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that was dog shit. Yeah, let's not do that. I mean, okay, we can all agree probably that like BO3 is much better than BO1, right, Carzzy?
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I mean, I think it would be perfect if we could play BO3s like in LCK, but yeah, I don't think it's possible, just like you said. So, but on the other hand, I hope this format never comes back. So I think it's really bad as well.
This you mean like summer, or you mean winter?
Yeah, summer, the summer one.
It's not coming back. It's not coming back.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere, so
Okay.
I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah.
For me, I like I don't know which year it was, like 2021, 2020, like playing against each team 2 times and just playing 2 times a week on the weekend. That was quite good for me, I'd say. Like one of the most enjoyable formats.
Yeah.
Because you had a lot of time and it was quite long. Although like the viewership was a lot lower, I'd say. Because people had to watch like the uninteresting teams for way longer. So
like,
yeah.
Do you have any examples?
The Vitality back then.
Okay. Choosing the peaceful way, I see.
What about Vitality against Rogue? Was that a fun one?
Back then, I mean, Rogue was a champion in 2022, so I guess it probably was a fun one back then. Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I feel like we had times, I don't know when it was, honestly, I don't remember, but there were like BO3s and BO2s in the LEC, and we had 2 different separate streams. And we had like the lower priority stream and the lower priority studio, and then the higher priority studio with the stream. And then we basically were shifting games in these studios. And then most of the people were watching, let's say, Fnatic G2, and then nobody was watching SK and I don't know, whoever else was playing back then, right? Just to give you examples. And I feel like that's also not a good way, right? Because you actually want to make new fans for these lower ranked teams. And of course, if they are suddenly number one in LEC, then they will get fans naturally. So their goal should be to win. But either way, you still want to show these games on broadcast because you still want to be profitable. But I feel like the system that they made in Summer Split, which is not good, and the system back then with 2 streams was also not good. But maybe if we make LEC, like Carzzy mentioned, maybe if we make LEC days a little bit longer and we, let's say, instead of starting at 5 p.m., if we keep Saturday, Sunday, and we start at 2, 3 p.m., right, when people have a free day anyway, and we do a bunch of BO2s or BO3s. I know BO2s sound terrible, and maybe we shouldn't do that either, but it's better than BO1 because you still get more games as a player. Or we just do a bunch of BO3s, and we, instead of doing 2 BO3s a day, we do 3 or 4, which I think was the case for some weeks. Maybe we can get more games in the same amount of days throughout the season, and teams shouldn't complain because they get more practice. Sure, they get less time to prep against certain teams, but also they get more practice right on stage.
Yeah,
and we as viewers just get more content.
I wanted to ask you actually, because we're talking a lot about like best of threes, and I feel like at this point everyone agrees that best of threes are better than best of ones. But the issue I see is that currently with best of threes, because I guess we have less resource in Europe to like do a longer competition and everything, it's single round robin. And I wanted to ask you, do you think that it's better to have double round robin best of one or single round robin best of three still? Like playing each teams twice, you know, in the group stage or once.
Do you prefer to face each team 2 times, but it's best of 1, or each team 1 time, but it's best of 3?
No, sorry, I understand the question, but are you asking?
Oh, sorry.
Who are
Oh,
you asking?
I mean, I guess let's start with Carzzy this time.
Because everybody was kind of quiet, like I was not sure.
I was explaining for the chat.
Well, I would prefer. I mean, if I play one best of 3 against every team, I mean, I like both formats, to be fair. Like, for Navi, it would be like whichever is faster, you know, so the off-season can begin ASAP, but like for Vitality, probably the best of 3s.
Yeah, Jankos still the
I
same
think
as
it makes
well.
more sense.
I think I mean, as a player, as a co-streamer and as a Navi representative here, I think we would prefer more games. So I wouldn't mind single round robin BO3, but then you should be able to play every team once at least, right? Because right now we had BO3, but we played only each team, not even each team, just 4 teams once. So imagine there is no groups, or even the group, there is a cross-map group, and maybe if you win against the opponent group, it's treated equally to your own group. I don't know how head-to-head would work then, but either way, I think more games throughout the season is.
Yeah, I mean the
BO3, but everybody.
The dream would be a double round robin best of 3, right? But I feel like it's so impossible because of like budgets in Europe and everything. Like they would have to pay the casters and the studio and everything, and it doesn't seem like they have the money for that, especially with 3 splits right now.
Or we need longer seasons or less splits.
Yeah, I mean
and we need more budget, so we need perks to join the LEC.
Yeah.
Wait. I don't know if that's how we get more budget.
No, I think we need Carzzy to start an OnlyFans or something for Europe, you know?
I mean, I can tank it for Europe.
Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, in that sense, I wanted to go back to the initial question as well. Do you think that the fact that we have 3 splits hurts the way the structure in Europe functions? And do you think that it like kind of makes it so it's harder to have those better formats where you can have, for example, like double round robin best of 3, for example, or even like more matches? Because it feels like everything is happening so fast right now, like especially with the 3 internationals and everything, and teams either get eliminated super fast or they also like just don't get to play anyways, like the right amount of games compared to LCK and LPL. So is like 3 splits something that hurts Europe in general and the West in general compared to like the East, because I guess they have just better like budget management or something. I don't even know. Wooloo, do you have something about that?
Okay, I think I don't like 3 splits, but not especially because it's 3 splits, more because since we have 3 splits, it forces short formats, which I feel like it's also what Jankos was saying earlier. But I also think that what I don't like with 3 splits is also because since each split has a different format, I think it's super hard for newer viewers to like understand what's going on. And I think since you guys like to talk about budget, I think to have money, it's super important to have new viewers in LEC and to be like friendly to those newer viewers. And I feel like today it's super hard as a new viewer to get into LEC because you have so many splits and the format is always changing. And I think personally that's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah. Jankos, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same because we want to focus on the LEC format, right? But in LTA, they are also like having a different format. I mean, it's been a big subject on Reddit for the past couple of days or even weeks, depends.
Let's be honest, the LTA format is a bit dog water.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps changing every single split, right? This year was very chaotic. I'm not sure if that's because they are trying to cut budgets or if they are trying to make it more agreeable around Valorant as well, or if they are trying to, push something new. I still think that we have a viewership win. I actually don't know the stats, so I don't know if more people are watching or less people are watching overall League of Legends across the globe. But either way, we got a big win with Fearless Draft, right? I feel like Fearless Draft is also pushing BO3s because, you want to actually show that you play multiple champions across multiple games. And that makes people more interested in games because at least we are not seeing specific matchups, only this matchup like in a couple of games in a row, right? Which we have seen at Worlds or have seen throughout playoffs and so on, where, it's every time Azir, Corki and whatnot. Yeah. So I feel like the first draft was a really big win for viewership, but I feel like the format changed and the fact that people just can't get used to what is going on. And then even in LEC, this is not a format thing, but even in LEC, we had a roadshow a couple of times, which I think VIT was a part of as well when they went to the KC Arena. We don't get a venue for finals, and it feels like no finals actually matters besides the summer split final, which is the only one with a big arena. Yeah. And now we are going to Madrid. But then we had a 1 week break between the last day of group stage into playoffs, and then now we have a 1 week break again. Like today is what, Monday, but this week there were no games. LPL is going on, LCK is going on. LPL had its finals yesterday. LCK had their upper bracket finals, lower bracket finals. And then I fully understand the decision behind putting 3 different BO5s in one weekend, which we will get KC against Fnatic, and the winner of that is going to Worlds. And then we will get, Saturday between MKOI and the winner of Friday to see which one is going to the final. And then we have like the big final on Sunday, which is really cool, I think. I think the roadshow idea with 3 days of roadshow where every game matters, I think that's going to help sell tickets because, we have so many teams and every day matters. But still, we get only one roadshow. Sorry, not only one, but we get one roadshow that really matters. And that's a hype one, which is nice. But why the week break? The hype just dies off. I don't even remember what happened 2 weeks ago. Actually, VIT was eliminated. No offense, right? But
okay,
like
you planned that one.
Yeah, I guess that happened, But like, there's no games this week. Why? Yeah, it's very sad. I'm sorry for you. I remember how it was. I got eliminated like last year. So, but anyways, the point is, even the BO3, BO1, and so on. That's nice, but also like keep the game flowing. Don't have so many random breaks throughout the year because that is just killing the hype in playoffs. Why do we have a random week play in playoffs? It doesn't make any sense. I don't get the reason. I mean, is there like Valorant finals going on yesterday or something? I just don't understand why did we have a random break in the middle of the season, and now there's finals like next week randomly, right? And maybe people think LEC is done already because I know G2 won something last week and now there's no games this week. So
yeah. By the way, if you look at Discord, I pulled up like the viewership stats if that interests you as well for like LEC and stuff.
Yeah, well, I was taking a look. But is this this is with all of the co-streamers and combined? So Kdral, the most importantly.
Yeah. On Esports chart they use all that as well. Yeah.
Also, what I want to say, since you are looking at this, is that you can see that Winter Split is always making the most numbers, right? Which is normal because like you have new teams, new rosters, so it's super hype to follow. But I feel like with 3 splits, it also gets boring for some fans like more quickly, if that makes sense. Because in a year you have like 3 times a split with similar teams, etc., few roster changes. But like if you look at this year, it's been always like kind of the same team who are top 4. And I think with 3 splits, you also like we get more of the same type of splits. And I feel like when we had 2 splits, which were a bit longer, I had less of this feeling that it felt repetitive. If that makes sense. I don't know if you guys get what I mean, but
yeah,
I think it tires the audience more quickly to have 3 splits in a single year.
I mean, obviously, Carzzy, I mean, you can maybe talk to us about that as well. Do you feel like matches in general like get a little bit less special when you have like too much of them like going on in a year? Because obviously, like with more and more matches happening, more internationals, it kind of like feels like it devalues maybe like the thrill of competition in a way. Because like if you fuck up one split, then you just come back the next, and you have like 3 different splits, and it feels a bit weird, no?
I mean, for me, the main thing with this is that it devalues like winning, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you win one split, there is another winner like 2.5
Yeah.
months after you win, you know?
And then I was asking you guys if you think it would be better if, similarly to the LCK, we still have those 3 splits, but they don't count as winning the split, if that makes sense. Because LCK basically only has 1 trophy at the end of the year. Do you guys think that would be better?
I mean, I really like the LC because 1 trophy for the entire. Maybe it's like might be the perfect amount. Stuff. Oh wait, my
Carzzy,
mic
you're
is like
cutting.
cutting off, right?
Yeah.
My
Oh my
god.
god, I was so scared it was gonna be on my side again.
Oh my god. No. Sorry. I'll put the sensitivity lower. Well, I was sorry. Let me repeat myself. I was saying that I like the idea of having 1 trophy because if some team is like really dominant throughout the year and they live the trophy, like Genji for example, they were quite dominant, although now they are looking a little bit shaky. But if they live the trophy, it's gonna be like it will feel really good because nobody else got any trophy, you know. So you will have the ego. You will have the ego check for the towards the other people. But also, I think 2 trophies are quite good, like it was previous, or it's in LPL right now, because a lot of
Yeah.
stuff can change throughout the year, like a lot of roster changes, and I think it doesn't bother anyone. Like 2 teams winning, it was always like this. I think it was just nice, even for the viewers. You can have like 2 teams that have rivalry. Maybe one wins one split, the other wins like the next split. Good storyline, you know.
Carzzy, when are you planning on lifting a trophy again?
So probably like in what's the month? 9th month? Well,
9 month?
in like the 9th month of the year.
Oh yeah, we're on September right now.
Bro, I'm gonna lift trophy in 5 months.
In 5 months. Nice.
But
Good
depends on
one.
the format. Okay?
Maybe they don't give you a trophy anymore. Maybe they listen to you and there's no trophy.
Yes.
All right. But yeah, I mean,
And Jan,
oh, go ahead, Wooloo, sorry.
oh, I was just going to ask Jan, because if it was like LCK, if LCK just had 1 trophy, but the same format, would you prefer that?
No, I mean, I like the. So I would never like to go back to having 4 trophies. I think that was just straight
Yeah.
stupid. But I think 2 trophies is nice. I feel like you should get rewarded for being. I think you should get rewarded for being like good the first half of the year. I feel like 1 big trophy is a bit weird because I mean, it's just it would feel kind of weird if Genji is dominating the whole year, but then they fall short in playoffs, and it feels like they didn't deserve the trophy, but you know they actually did because they won a Messiah, for example, right? So I feel like because First Time is such a small tournament, maybe we should have 1 trophy after spring, like the big one, let's say, for
Yeah.
MSI champs, and then maybe 1 trophy after summer going to Worlds, so we clearly know which team is best representing their own region at both Worlds and MSI, and then for First Stand we can have like a. I'm not saying LCK Cup style where they just it doesn't matter, but you get to go. But something similar, you know, where like, okay, so this team was the best at that time, and they will represent us at the First Stand tournament. But it's not like they won a split or anything because let's say we have only 2 splits or 3 splits, but you know we played like a mini tournament beforehand or something.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because the thing is they don't pay us to make the format better, but we can but we can complain about it.
Yeah.
So technically, it is not our job to make it better. We can just complain that it should be better.
By the way, I was curious actually. What do you think about like First Stand in general? Like, do you think it warrants having 3 splits as well? Because a lot of people, like I saw, were saying like, "Oh, First Stand doesn't matter anyways." You know, like it's the first split. Like, who cares and everything. So, yeah, I just want to know, like, do you think that First Stand actually makes it so like having those 3 splits is worth it? Maybe Wooloo, do you want to start or Jankos? Yeah.
Yeah, I can start maybe this time. I feel like it's. I mean, it does make sense that they would like 3 splits because of it. But I also feel like it's not needed, right? LCK Cup did it, the showcase that is not needed. I think for LEC at least, we don't need a winter playoff. We can have a spring playoff in which we have like a short. I know we can keep the score the way LCK does it. We can keep the score between winter and spring. But let's say we have like a mini tournament to decide who goes there by having like a mini playoff format, but then the score stays. Or you just do or you just do it the way you did it this year, which I don't think the way we chose first and tournament was bad. I just think that the BO1s throughout this whole year of winter were like kind of meh, and also the very short summer. I don't even remember, was spring actually the best format we had? Maybe was spring like a couple of times BO3s or
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it was
single
just a
round
full round
robin.
robin of this best of 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So that
just
was probably
not
the most
groups.
reasonable one we had. And I don't remember having a lot of breaks in the middle of the season in spring split as well. But maybe I just don't remember. Maybe they were. But I think that's important as well to not have like these mega long breaks for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, Spring Split, the only difference was that there were the road trips, right? Like when they went to Evry and Madrid as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically that.
But I think that was cool. I mean, I can't complain about it. What's your experience with that one, Carzzy, actually? Did you enjoy going into KC Arena?
I mean, the experience in KC Arena was kind of fun. I mean, me personally, I enjoyed people booing, you know. And then there was the drama with electricity, or not drama, like the issue with electricity where it dropped out. Like there was
Oh,
no
yeah. Oh,
electricity
I
Yeah.
remember that
hours
one.
or something like that, or 1.5 hours. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. But Carzzy, you had like it was so XD for you because I remember you went to Evry and you actually like won a match, but then like you got told you had to play tiebreakers, right? So you had to like return to Berlin and the next day you had
Oh,
to play
yeah,
tiebreakers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a bit funny.
Okay, yeah, that one was very weird. That for sure was like a bit off. The fact that you guys had to insta travel, insta play. I was very surprised that happened.
Yeah, we traveled and the next day we played the tiebreakers. And then we had like a funny draft as well and it was immediately over. And off season started.
It was a bit GG.
I'm
So since
blaming
we
the
talk
coaching
about
staff.
roadshows, I also wanted to ask you guys in spring and also in summer, but I think in spring it was because of the roadshows. We had a lot of moments during the season where teams played a lot more games than other teams. To give an example, I think in the first week KC played 2 games and some other teams had played no games at all. Do you guys think as a pro player this matters? Like, do you get an advantage from having another team playing more games because you can see how they draft, how they play? Does this matter as a pro player?
I think it matters. I mean, like the scouts are checking everything. There are patterns everywhere, right? So I think more games, more info. So it definitely matters for the scouting.
I agreed with that. I remember that Navi actually had to play against Vitality when Vitality didn't play for 2 weeks, and I think Navi had
Yeah.
a game just the day beforehand. And I
They
feel
had
like
2
I'm
games.
not. Yeah, and I'm not saying that we would win if Vitality was the first team to play that week, but it would definitely give our team bigger chances of winning. So I feel like having 2 games and then playing, not even having 2 games the same week, because yeah, sure you do showcase some of the strats, but just one team not playing for a while and then coming back to play as you already played, let's say the day before that, I feel like that gives you a disadvantage. I think that would be a bigger disadvantage than playing two different BO3s a week. But I guess you have to play 2 different BO3s a week if they just scouted you recently. So but I feel like that was a little bit off for sure.
So Jankos, you're
Yeah,
saying
even as a
basically
viewer, I think. Yeah, go on,
you're
Armand.
saying that Navi was kind of held back by Riot then in the format, right?
I mean, no. I mean, we cannot make any excuse. Like, bro, Navi didn't win a single game this year. Bro, it's kind of crazy because when you think about it, like we came in summer split, and now Navi, we couldn't win a single game in 2025. So Navi still hasn't won an LEC game,
That's
and they will
fucking
not
rough.
win until 2026, which is kind of crazy.
How does
But
that
anyway, the
happen?
point
I
is-
win my normal games as well. Like I've won more games than Navi and
Yeah, well, I don't know. There was like, maybe if they would play different teams, like somebody else. I have no clue who.
Nah, I
But,
think even the
next year,
Sheep
next year.
Esports team we would have beat Navi at this point. I don't know.
But okay, it's
No.
not easy to build a roster in the middle of the season.
Yeah, obviously.
Carzzy would know.
I know, I understand. And also the groups were like really unbalanced, you know. Our group was way too powerful.
Yeah, that's true. Like we had Vitality in a group. What can we do?
Yeah.
The other
Good
group
level.
had like SK, right?
Yeah, SK.
Yeah.
SK, Heretics, and BDS,
Team
I
Heretics,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, and BDS is also like not having. I mean, they are out now, but they didn't have the best summer split or the best year overall.
Oh, question. Do you guys think it's a good idea to have groups in a format? Or should Riot Games give up on this idea?
I think groups should never ever happen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like groups as well. I feel
Okay.
like we should have no groups,
Same.
or if we do have groups, at least we have cross. If we have groups, we need cross. We should probably make a very long season where you play each team from your own group once, and then you play enemy group, and then you maybe play one more time your own group even. But I just feel like having two groups and then so little games is probably the worst.
It
So
actually
I would probably prefer no groups whatsoever.
good question though. What do you think about the like Rise and Legend groups from like LCK, for example, where you get like the top teams from Split 2 and like the bottom teams from Split 2, like in different groups as well? If like for example we got double round robin instead, because I think in any case like single round robin with groups is like there's no fucking way you do this again. Like this has to be the worst thing ever. But if you get double round robin best of 3 with actually like good teams and bad teams separated, like is it better then? Maybe
I mean, I
Carzzy.
think. I mean, the LCK format is a bit interesting in this. It's I'm not sure how it exactly works. Is it like top teams in one group is like top 5?
Yeah, it was basically top 5 and bottom 5 from like the split before. So you would have been in the lower group, Carzzy.
Yeah, and in both groups, like the last team drops out of the competition.
So the way it worked is that I believe for LCK it was top 4 teams were guaranteed playoffs, and then the bottom team of the top group had to pay play-in basically, and also then it was like the top 3 LCK I think that played the play-in, and the bottom 2 were eliminated basically.
Yeah, the best teams from the bottom group fight with the worst teams from the top group for places in playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Actually, that's quite fun. I think that could be fun. Although, like,
You
when I watch LCK, it feels like the bottom teams can sometimes win. You know,
Yeah.
it's like very volatile there. Not like exactly the bottom teams, the DNF or whatever that team was with Berserker.
Yeah.
But I think in LEC there is like a really small chance of the bottom teams winning against the better teams.
Mm.
So maybe it's not the best format for us.
Or maybe it's better because then you don't have those predictable games where the bottom teams are fighting against the top teams anymore.
And from
Yeah,
that point of view, yeah.
I think that's very very interesting point. But I don't know what's happening with LEC, but LCK to that degree is entertaining. But when it comes to entertaining games, if we had their format, at least we'll have like more BO5s or BO3s, sorry, with the top teams playing, right? So for example, we would see G2 against Fnatic more often, G2 against KC, or MKOI against whoever else is there left that I haven't mentioned, right? So I think that would make it more interesting. But I don't know if anybody would watch like the bottom 5 teams, because I feel like in LCK somehow it's still very entertaining to watch these guys because the games are very fast paced. But for some reason in LAC the games are very slow. I know Carzzy, if it's like you feel this way too, but I feel like there's so often where LEC games are like literally no kills for 20 minutes, and that used to be LCK's problem. But I feel like the lower tier teams, they just perma fist fight, skill check each other. But in LEC, it just feels like some games are complete snooze fest.
Yes,
And that
I
would be
agree.
a problem for entertainment, right? And then of course you are not gonna go and tell players like, oh guys, you guys go fight and make fun, you know. So you people wanna watch you. Like it's kind
I
of
mean, I would
cooked,
do
you
it.
know. Yeah, I mean Carzzy will do it. I trust Carzzy to do it. He is a man of his word, but I don't know if every team would do it.
Yeah, no, it would be
Yeah.
rough. I'm not sure I would watch like 2 or 3 best of 3s of like Giant X versus BDS or something. Honestly, it would be a bit rough.
But I think I don't know how good it is to have like the top teams battle each other like a lot. You know, in LCK, the top group, all the matchups between top teams, you had them 3 times. So you had like 3 times Genji T1, Genji HLE. And I feel like that was cool, but it also made them less special in a way. So I don't know if I would like it that much in LEC personally.
Yeah, I guess it's just a region skill gap then. We are not good enough to have this format, unfortunately.
I think so too. I think that people are way too afraid to fuck up in it, you know.
I mean, is
That
there
makes
even
sense, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask, is there even a way to change this? But I mean, we're getting a bit off topic though, talking about that. But still, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know.
And that is a way. You just need to change some players, right? Like they changed Jankos.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I guess,
okay. Who
yeah,
are
you
you?
could just bench more players.
Okay, Carzzy, go ahead. Tell us who are you changing first?
I mean, my first choice would be Niski, but he's gone already, you know. It's difficult to choose anyone else.
Yeah, fair.
I
Carzzy.
mean, I would kick Humanoid as well, but this guy is also fired, so
Wait, so
Mhm.
that makes sense. Carzzy was actually kicking people like behind the scenes.
Oh
He wanted
shit!
to kick Humanoid is out. He wanted to kick Niski's out.
No way, it's the
I mean,
fucking Carzzy mafia.
my end goal is to be the only Czech LEC player, you know. Jackis is the next one.
He's next
Patrick
on the
already
list.
got fired.
What do you think about Amon though? Amon might make it to the LEC at some point.
I mean, Omono is my good friend. I hope he makes it one good year, and then I'm firing him as well.
All right. So anyways, we did get a bit off topics, but I think it's good that we like recap a bit what we said everything so far, because it's been a bit like deconstructed and everything. And I would like to go by each of you and try to get a like bullet point list of like what makes a good format and stuff, so we can think of that in the future as well for the next few steps of this podcast as well. So Wooloo, could you start by telling us, like, in your eyes, like, what are the important things to make sure that you have like a good format, right?
What I get so far from this discussion is that I feel like everyone here prefers best of 3 from best of 1, and I feel like maybe that's more personal, but I want seasons to be longer. You know, that at least all teams can fight each other once, ideally twice. I would prefer twice. So yeah, I think that would be my main points to start to have a good basis for a good format. And also, don't give like 2 games to one team and then one team didn't play it, or like I don't like how, you know, they said from a Jankos and Carzzy said from a player's perspective, it can give an advantage, but I think as a viewer, it's harder to follow. You know, like you even as a media, you know, you cannot like publish those rankings, updates, and say, oh, this team is going to fight for the top spot or they are getting third place. So I think that's kind of boring. So that's the basis I would start on.
Jankos, what are in your opinions the major bullet points for a good format?
No, I mean, I think I agree with most of the things that Wooloo said, right? I feel like we should have BO3s, preferably double round robin, so we can have more games. Maybe 2 splits only instead of having 3, and then maybe in the middle of the first split we have some mini tournament to just decide who goes to first in tournament. And that doesn't have to be played between all 10 teams. That can just be, let's say, top 6 or top 8. We can have like a mini playoff format, you know, maybe like without double elimination, we have like a bunch of BO5s, you know, quickly. Because in the end, we have a lot of time in the year. And then on top of that, not too many trophies, you know. So if we have 2 splits or 3 splits, we don't make it 4 trophies. We don't make it 3. 3 is max, I feel like. 3 is like somewhat reasonable because we have 3 international tournaments, so you have 3 trophies. But anything above that, it just feels like it liquidates value of anything that you have achieved, you know. It's just like you get a trophy, then you get a trophy again, then you get a trophy again. Especially if we are winning, I guess, a lot, then it's fun because you just keep getting rewarded, but it just feels a bit meaningless, right? Yeah, I think that's kind of it for me. I'm not sure what else would we need to make a good format. Maybe Carzzy has an idea.
I mean, I just agree with you guys. I think 3 splits, that has to be like because of free internationals, right? It makes the most sense because then you would be forced to play something. I don't know how they would even make it with two. Like you would have to do like the LCK Cup in EU, where you just play to qualify. And that also feels kind of bad that you win something. Like in theory, you win, right? You beat everyone, but you don't get a reward except for going to the international.
Makes sense.
That's weird.
All right. Well, now that we established a bit what are, in our opinions, the most important things about formats, let's move on to the next part of our podcast, which is basically kind of what we already have been doing so far, but like going back over the year, looking at the 3 LEC's formats and yeah, just making sure that we can kind of reach a conclusion of like what would be the best way to go forward. I mean, obviously, we're not right, we're not making the decisions right, but we can at least make some suggestion for them, and we have to hope that they they take them to heart, you know. But yeah, I will move right now, and let's just go step by step through all of the formats. And first of all, I mean, we have to talk about kind of the legacy format that we've had in the LEC is the winter split format, which is basically what we've been having the last 2 years as well, right? Like in 2024 and 2023, which is the full best of one single run robin where you play every team and then the top 8 goes to playoffs. And I guess we can start. Wooloo, what did you think about this format? I know you have a lot of thoughts about them, and yeah, we'll be ranking them afterwards when we finish going over the 3 of them.
Yeah, so as we said, I think best of threes are a lot better than best of ones. But I will say, I'm curious what you guys think, but there is one thing I like about this format is that in the same day, you can see all teams play. Which I personally, I really like that. I think it's hype and I think it's easy to follow. I think the rankings are always fair. So I think that's pretty cool. And let's say it was double round robin, like you can quickly like have all teams face each other like multiple times maybe. And I like that this year they improved a bit the format compared to previous years because it was not a simple playoffs. Like, it was a playoffs with 8 teams where you had a lot of best of threes and best of fives reaching finals. I don't know if you have the visual, but I think it was better than previous years. But obviously, like that's just the advantage I see of all teams fighting each other like the same day. But I would still prefer a format with best of threes. Obviously, then it's not possible to have like 5 best of threes on the same days. But yeah, overall, just because it's best of one, I think I much prefer like the spring split format. But personally, I thought it's better than the summer split format because at least we get to see all teams fight each other.
Wait, I'm leaking it right now. That's not what I meant to do. Oh no.
Oh, you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Leaking the content.
Couldn't see anything, but my browser was showing me a bit. Yeah, I mean, Jankos, do you want to say what you have to say about the winter format? Do you think that it should never ever return and we should never see best of ones again?
I mean, I think preferably from player POV, which I'm not anymore, but from player POV, it does suck to see BO1s because conclusions can be quite simple, and we've seen it multiple times in Spring and in Summer Split, where one team wins the first game and then they lose the next 2 games, right? So I'm not a big fan of BO1s. I do agree with Wooloo that it is very fun to see every team compete every day, and you can see all of them compete and play, and then you are like, oh, okay, so these guys improved on that or these guys improved on that. But to be honest, in BO1s there's so much stress as well, and like this one draft that you need, and you can't really, there's no like margin for a mistake. You need to always bring your best draft unless you play against much worse team, and then even if you do play against much worse team, what if you lose game 1 because you are off your game, and then suddenly you can't really fix that mistake. The good thing about this format is because in LEC we don't have that much, I guess, I'm not sure if it's, I shouldn't say time, but I mean, it is time, right? We just don't have that many game days. Then at least we had multiple, like two round robin or 3 round robin BO1s, which helps a little bit to have more games. Or the teams playing each other more games, but not necessarily more games in itself. But yes, I feel like BO1 should. It's a very, especially now in the era of fearless draft, it's an outdated format, and the only way I see BO1s returning is if they do the. I don't know the name of it, but you have the. Actually, no, the nothing can be. No, please just. No, never mind. Like, just don't bring it back. I was trying to figure something out.
I was
but no,
curious,
no.
but
Yeah. Carzzy, what do you think about the best of one winter?
I mean, I think I don't know. Like, I legit think Jankos just summed it up perfectly. I think the BO1s are way too flippy.
Yeah.
Since you only play 9 games against everyone, and it
Yeah.
can get really ugly quite fast. The only saving is that it's 8 teams that are qualifying, so like the likelihood of you fucking up so many times. You know, if you're like the above average team or like middle of the pack team, you know,
Yeah.
is quite unlikely. And in this split, it was like the two worst teams, right, that ended up last, anyways. So there was nothing like what Mr. Jankos described, where like the better team creates unplayable draft, or you just have a bad day.
Mm.
So yeah, but maybe with like higher sample size, stuff like that could happen.
Yeah.
Would you
Who knows?
guys be more okay with best of one if you had like a lot of them? You know, like if they are less decisive.
Triple round
I mean-
robin best of ones.
Yeah, imagine we have triple round robin best of ones, which can be done in a few weeks. Or maybe
stop.
months.
You mean like having more games, like triple round robin or something, BO1?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Would that solve the issues with best of one, or it would still suck to have best of
No,
one?
I mean, at this point we are just cooked because I think people wouldn't watch it because of Fearless
Yeah.
Draft. Like I feel like we are cooked because we can go back to the old format of winter, but then like people are gonna be like, oh my god, you know, why are we going back in time? Now the games don't really matter, and now we see the same champions every BO1 in every single game. And I think now that we took a step forward towards Fearless, we just can't go back. It's gonna ruin the experience
that's
for
true.
everybody.
That's a really good point, yeah.
In that case,
I
then
agree.
let's move on to the next one. Again, spring. I think spring. Personally, I think it was the best one this year. Like obviously, summer with the groups, it was just not it, right? And yeah, I mean, having single round robin best of three, not that bad. Top three, or rather, top six teams was a bit tougher, obviously, but I think it's okay as well. Carzzy, could you start by telling us what your thoughts are on this format as well?
I mean, I like this format the most because you just play the most games. Usually it was like 3 games as well.
Yeah.
It just feels nice. There is like always a window to repair stuff in between the games, and you can have a quick chat that doesn't happen after a BO1, right? So that is a big plus. And overall, like the split was fun, especially because of the roadshows. And
Yeah.
with BO3s, it's way easier to make roadshows as well than BO1s. People will want to watch that way more.
God, I hope we have more of them next year as well. I mean, it was really fun to go to Avery, for example, to see all of you as well. But I guess that'll be on Riot as well. Jankos, do you think as well that this was the best format we had this year so far?
Yes, I think hands down. I feel like it's a BO3, so it already is better than winter, and then it's single round robin BO3 without the group stage, so it's already not so without the groups, not the group stage, but the groups. So that's already makes it better than summer. That's kind of it. I think Carzzy summed it up. I feel like every team gets to play every team one time BO3. You have as many games as it takes. We have road shows, which are very fun. I wish the roadshows would happen for finals because that would just make them more hype instead of having them in regular season. I had multiple questions being asked to me during coach streams where people were like, "Oh, is this finals? Is this finals?" Because you see a huge crowd in front of the players, and then you can actually like feel the tension in the air when players are talking about draft and they are competing against each other, and the games are just like you can hear the screaming when hype things happen around Baron and whatnot. So I feel like the road shows itself in the spring split were very, very nice, but I wish they would happen during playoffs and not during the regular season. If I have a choice between between not having them and having them only in regular season, I would still choose having them in regular season than not having them at all because I think it's still very fun. But I wish we just had them for the finals, like we had them back in my day, kids. Back in my day, kids, we had a roadshow every playoffs. We were playing in the big stadiums.
Yeah,
So,
when we still had money
that
in
was fun.
esports.
Yeah, when we had money in esports. So now we don't, and we can afford it. But I believe that teams also like the reason why we have road shows. I believe is that teams are actually covering part of the costs.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, at least, KC had to pay, and so did MCOI. So we can be grateful for these orgs for hosting these events. I'm sure Riot helped as well, but I think they had to like chip in at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if Vitality chipped in or you guys just went there for free, probably for free. Knowing
Probably
Carzzy, he took all the money for himself.
No,
Yeah.
it was
So,
paid.
I remember I talked to someone from Riot actually about this, and he basically confirmed that like the entirety of like the responsibility for like team travels and like accommodations was on the organizer, which is basically KC and Koi. And the only thing that Riot provides for these is like the cost of like broadcasting and the talent that are going there and everything, basically. So like the Riot like LEC broadcasting crew, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, I feel like that just makes a lot of sense. And if teams want to do it, maybe playoffs is just too expensive for teams to do it. I don't know what is the price between having the regular season or playoffs, right? But either way, I feel like Riot opening up that door, hopefully it's going to help in the future that teams can also pay. And I don't know about other possible sponsors that were rumored happening in 2026, which I'm not sure it's going to happen or not, and I don't want to really mention it. But
Oh god.
you guys know what was probably going on behind the scenes a little bit, right, with the new sponsors coming in.
Yeah.
Carzzy probably is like. So, anyways, yeah, good format. I was pretty happy with that one.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, because I see a lot of messages in the chat talking about like the having like more matches per week. I saw some people talking about like having online matches and everything. This is something we'll definitely touch upon, I think, in the next section, which is like building the perfect format. But I'm just wanted to say to the chat that we're reading all of this and keeping check for later. Wooloo, do you want to finish just on this format before we move on to the next one?
I will just say I agree with everything you guys said. By far the best format. Obviously, if you have longer seasons, I would prefer to have it double round robin, which I guess you would also agree with. That's it. I would not change anything else.
All right.
It's really, yeah.
All right, well, now we have to move on to the worst format of all, the one that everyone hates, like the devil of formats. We have to move on to the summer split that was so bad that it even warranted a reaction from Riot on Twitter, and they had to come out and say that this format will never happen again. So uh, that is a nice way to open up on this one. But obviously, best of threes groups, single round robin, where you only play 4 best of threes, and if you lose, you're out. Obviously, Carzzy, you made it to playoffs. Jankos, you probably have a lot of grudges over this format because your team obviously didn't get so lucky. So, Jankos, do you want to start by just ranting about this format?
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's about the rag, right? I still think you need to be a good team. And if you lost to Team Vitality with Carzzy, you're probably not a good team. So we didn't deserve. No, I'm joking. Of course, yes. We were not good enough. And, we can't. In a way, if you make playoffs, you just need to win at least one BO3 out of 4 different BO3s you play. So while the format sucks in itself, and while you don't get to play against every single team in the league, it still clearly shows you are the worst team in your group and you just deserve to be eliminated. I wish that wasn't the case for Navi, because I feel like, at least they were trying to cook with the roster. At least they brought new players. They just didn't really have enough time to develop these players. And I'm sure that we as Navi will also make sure that we are more competitive next year. But I feel like this format, yeah, the main issues for me are, first of all, you get eliminated after literally playing 4 BO3s and you don't really get to play against every team. Second thing, teams change players every split, and the groups were very imbalanced. One group had SK Gaming, Heretics, and BDS, and all of these 3 teams are the level of, I wouldn't say the level of Navi, but they are clearly not top 4 and not top 5. You know what I mean? They're like, if you put Team Heretics, BDS, and SK, I would say that they are probably like, they will be in like bottom 5 teams. Maybe Team Heretics has like some good games, some bad games, but I wouldn't really put them that high. So all of them being in one group, and then the other group being way more competitive, I feel like that was just not very nice, and that happened a little bit at random. And then a lot of teams just didn't get the chance to develop throughout the summer if they change players. But yes, changing players is risky throughout the season anyway in the first place. So I feel like group stage sucked. I think we should have just kept the spring format. And something we have also mentioned, remember Navi had that one game against Vitality where Vitality literally saw us compete the day before that, and then they could just prepare their drafts accordingly. And Vitality that time didn't play for 2 weeks, So we didn't know what to expect, but they already seen everything that we played last day. And because every game is so important, every BO3 is so important, you want to have as good preparation as possible, but you can do it because the team you play against didn't play for 2 weeks and they have seen everything you have, So
And we were preparing.
And they were preparing, hopefully, right? You guys played much better week 3 than you guys did week 1, so it makes sense, I actually was trash talking you guys on broadcast for fun, because I like to do that, even though maybe I shouldn't do it anymore because I'm irrelevant when it comes to gameplay now. But the point is that I was, making some banter happen, and then you guys completely like shat on us. So that wasn't very fun, It wasn't very fun. It was not nice of you to do that. But yeah, my least favorite. I mean, it's still BO3, so at least there's that. But yeah, definitely not very good format.
Yeah. Carzzy, do you have anything to add on that, or do you think that
I
Jankos
mean,
kind of...
Blood was just yapping for 10 minutes. I don't think I have anything to add.
Well, he probably didn't
feel
listen. I was like, oh my god.
No, I agree with everything. I mean, the thing that I dislike the most is the balancing of the teams, and I don't think there is any way to like balance these groups out. So it would have to be like the spring split for it to make sense, because I think it's just way too unbalanced.
All right. Well,
Like the top, I feel like us and Jakes are just way better, than the bottom teams. And then like you have 3 of the bottom teams in like one group, and then 1 of the team in the other group, So, but that was like maybe a little bit unfortunate because I think that we got better. Maybe if we were like worse, it would be more competitive.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So now that we went over all these formats as well, we have prepared a small little tier list basically. So we want to go and just make sure that we can hammer in all our thoughts on these formats, and we also added a few guests, the LCK formats to the tier list just to spice things up a bit. So let's go over this right now. Hopefully I don't mess it up, but yeah, okay. It's a bit zoomed in right now, but basically this is what we have. We already gave some nice names to the tiers, like as you can see on the screen share as well. We can rename them if you prefer, but we thought that it was pretty indicative, about everything. So let's go.
It's really good. Jankos tier behind under washed
Why
up,
is
though.
my Jankos tier under washed up tier?
It's really good.
Well, I mean, Jankos, I'm sorry, man. You didn't make it to EA Masters, like you.
That's true. But that
Like-
also makes me want go to Korea quicker. So I'm like sad and happy.
True. Actually, wait. Oh my God, is this actually what you were doing? You were like protesting against EMA Masters happening in the middle of
I
Worlds.
was not. No, I was not protesting. There is no excuse whatsoever. But I will make the best out of a bad situation.
Fair enough. All right. So yeah, I will be controlling everything. We can go ahead and try to talk about all of this and try to agree on which tier they should go in. And obviously, we have your beautiful faces there as well. We can already put you in your own tiers. So that's already done. That's great. Actually, let's just start with the summer one then. Like, what tier does this
really
one
easy.
goes to? Carzzy,
That's
then.
the easiest, no?
If
That's
it's
too easy.
which tier does it go in then, Carzzy?
I mean, I think we all agree on this being put to Jankos tier, the worst one.
All right, Jankos, do you
Out
agree
of
with
the-
this?
I mean, Carzzy had to highlight that Jankos tier is the worst one, so I guess I will not argue about it. We have 5 different formats from what I see. So, do you want to put each format in each tier? So that's why we have 5 tiers or 5 formats. Is that the reason, or would you still say that some formats can end up in the same tier?
No, it can end up in the same tier. It's fine, honestly, as long as it's like.
Okay, then I would probably just put it in Jankos' tier without mentioning where exactly is it on the screen. And I would keep it there for this time until we decide on the other formats that are given to us.
Makes sense. Wooloo, I assume you have no opposition, Wooloo?
No, I think it deserves to be into Jankos tier.
All right, perfect.
The worst one.
All right. Well, let's move on then, maybe to the winter split one rather, because I think the spring split, I mean, we already said was kind of the best one, but I'm curious, like, how much worse do you think the winter split is, like, compared to spring? And do you think it's as bad as like the summer, for example, or is it like kind of a bit better still? So maybe this time we can start with Jankos on that one as well.
I mean, actually, like, if I had to choose, maybe I would do washed up tier LEC summer, and then Jankos tier I would do LEC winter, just because I don't like BO1s. But I mean, the thing is, at least you had double round robin BO1s. But because I'm so biased towards a fearless draft, which I think is making games way more entertaining, then I would probably do this. And that if, let's say, we remove Fearless Draft and we have BO3s group stage with no Fearless, then I'd say it is absolutely... Oh, okay, you know what? I take it back. Actually, I would put Bold and Jankos tier, yeah. Just put Bold and Jankos tier. Because I think Fearless Draft is making LEC Summer better, but I think the group stage made it worse as well. So I would just, it balances itself out. I think both formats shouldn't be reused, in my opinion, at this point in 2026.
Yeah. Carzzy, do
Do
you
you
agree
really
with
think
that?
they are both so bad that you wanna put them in Jankos tier?
I think that both of them deserve to be quite down the list, yes.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. Wooloo, do you agree as
Okay,
well?
I mean, I have more. I understand from a pro player perspective, but I think, like from a viewer perspective and maybe media perspective, as I said earlier, I really liked how in the winter split, you have all teams playing the same day. So I think that's cool. At least that's so useful for content also. But I think I prefer also the fact that since it's best of one, we had like all teams facing each other. And I hate so much for the fact that this summer, like we had some matchups, didn't happen in the split, only four matches. I personally would put the winter split higher, also because again in playoffs we have longer playoffs, so we get Fearless Draft there. But I understand Jankos' point and Carzzy point that it sucks to have best of one, it's outdated and everything. But just like personally, I prefer Tan Summer Split. But if they want to keep it in Jankos, I'm okay.
Okay, so my argument is like some time ago, the winter split, at least to some extent, like was not that bad. But I think like the issue is, as you said, like since we've had Fearless Draft, it's just impossible to ever like see this as a good format again. But since it was kind of okay and it served its purpose in the past, I think, and it wasn't that bad, I would say it's washed up because it's like used to be not too bad, but now it's terrible. So it's like completely washed. But
Okay, so the washed up tier used to be very bad, but now it's completely terrible. But then we have one more tier below it.
yeah, the worst one,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So anyway,
other
I
disgusting
agree with
one.
that take as well. I think it's reasonable to say that it used to be okay, but nowadays it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. All right. Then in that case, let's move on to Actually, let's move on to the LCK ones before we do the spring split, because I'm kind of curious how you feel like the LCK format, for example, compares to spring. Let's start with LCK Cup, which I think is probably the worst one of the two, right? Carzzy, I don't know if you know like everything about the LCK Cup. Did you watch it at the start of the year?
Yeah, I watched. It's the one that has no win, just qualification.
Yeah, like basically, that the like Baron and Elder group, and it's like if your group is better than the older one, then you go to playoffs, and if you have the worst group, it's kind of GG. Even if you go like undefeated, it was kind of funny.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
it's the format with two groups in the winter split.
Well, I have no idea how did that work. Like,
Wait, I'll
so if
put
you
it up.
like,
But let's
if
show
you like
let's show it for the
4-0?
viewers.
Wait.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. Basically, I will put it up because it's easier to just do that. Wait, let me show it a bit
Yeah, you
better.
need to
on
move
the
it to
stream.
the right.
Yeah, like that. So basically, it was this. So like, they were playing for like group points, and like if your group is better, like you just get like spots in like playoffs, for example. Like here, like DK and Genji went to like playoffs, and then here, even though T1 was 4-1, they had to play like play-in then, and then they got forced to play against HLE in the first round, which was kind of a bit doomed.
Because their group was worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I think, if there is something like that is completely out of your control, I don't like that. This is like gambling, you know? Bad.
You don't like gambling?
Wait.
No.
What were you gonna say, Jankos?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. So, okay, now that we cleared that up a bit, what are we thinking about LCK Cup format then?
I mean,
It's
I
not
think
good.
I would put it to Jankos tier.
Jankos, do you agree with
Don't
that?
worry.
I mean, I don't like this out of your control, but in a way it is because you still get to play BO3s, BO5s in playoffs, right? Like
Yeah.
All of the teams qualified. What's unlucky is that I guess potentially the worst teams had to play against the better teams in the first couple of rounds. So let's say we had, T1 against HLE, and maybe they would actually make it further.
Yeah.
But it's HLE who still won. So I'd most likely just put it into washed up tier, because I wouldn't want this format to be our playoff format. But for, let's say, a first stand tournament qualification, it wouldn't like make that big of a difference for me. It would just be like a BO5s, like a bunch of teams play BO5s and the winner goes to tournament. It's just, this doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
There's no double elimination, which sure sucks. You can't for sure know, but I mean, it's still BO5s and it's still BO3s. So and it's a self-filled draft. So you will just get you get like it's very old school IEM Katowice, or very old school tournaments that you had, where that's why I would call it washed up tier, because you just have a bunch of games where teams play against each other and the winner takes it up. That's it.
Yeah.
And
So
it's all of them are in like a BO3 or BO5 format only.
So it's
I
at
would put
least
it
better
washed
than
up
like
tier.
the winter split, because there's best of threes then, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess yeah. But I wouldn't like to have it for like a format in the season.
Even
I
for
think
winter?
it's a fine format to. I think it's a fine format for tournament qualification, like first and tournament. But I would never like this as a format in let's say spring split or summer split. I think it's like a good winter split tournament. And I would also call it a tournament or a cup as well. I wouldn't call it a split.
Yeah.
So I think LCK did well in a way, like they advertised it properly.
If I can follow up on Jankos, I would also put it above the summer split format of LEC, because as we could see on your screen, Armand, we have a play-in stage after the group stage. As you show on the screen, and then we also had the playoffs. So I feel like we had more games than the LEC summer split. So for me, it deserves to be higher, even if it's like not.
I just want to say, NAVI would still have gotten eliminated in the group stage with this format.
Okay, cool. I mean, you didn't have to say it, but I'm happy that you did. I mean, like, thank you for that. Thank you.
No worries. Sorry, Wooloo, go ahead.
No, I finished what I wanted to say, but yeah, I still think it's superior to the LEC format that we had this summer, because there's more games, more best of threes. The group stage was best of three, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, best of threes group stage, then playing best of three with like the last match best of 5, and then full best of 5.
Yeah, in my opinion, there is no reason to see it as worse. And yeah, I agree with Jankos. If the LEC they want to have a format, for the winter split to qualify for first stand, I think this could be something, maybe with a few tweaks, but yeah, definitely not for spring or summer split. I think we have better options for that.
All right. In that case, let's move back here. So, do we all agree that it's like kind of, so it's at least better than summer split? Is it a bit better than winter as well? Then, like, it's kind of in the same tier, but it's like above it at least. Then, maybe, yeah. I guess Jankos, Carzzy, do you have a thoughts?
I mean, you could ask the question this way, like, would you replace the winter split format with this?
Sure.
Yes, I would. But I would replace it only if it was called a cup. Or I think the word cup, it just makes sense.
The LC Cup.
Cup or something like it has to be clear that it's a mini tournament, not meant to crown the champion of the year or anything. It's just like who goes to first and tournament. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I like this. I like the way you phrase this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I think that's an important point. I think the name of the split is important, because like in winter it was the LTA split. Like some teams were eliminated after two matches, and like, what the fuck is this split? But if it's called a cup and people expect it to be like a short tournament, then I think it's fine. I think it comes down to what you expect from the format.
Yeah. So an interesting one next is the full LCK season, and so when we're putting this, it's a bit different, obviously, because this is like more of a 2-split format. So for those that don't know, again, the LCK year, I will put it up on screen again. Let me unzoom that a bit. But basically, they decided that they would just have one very, very long season. So they have like first of all, like a group stage like this, which is, I believe it was double round robin, where they play best of threes with every team. And then when this is over, the very important thing that happened is that basically they split the league in two groups, which is like the better team group and then the very boosted teams group afterwards. Then basically, and in between they have this like road to MSI, and I mean that's another entire topic. I personally don't really like the fact that it was like King of the Hill like this. It's really weird playoffs, but I guess that's something that could change anyways. But yeah, basically the question here is, would we like a format like this basically for the LEC, where we would have like a cup basically at the start and then like a LCK like season like this, which is split in both spring and summer, and we have like the results that actually matter there like this, like, and then you have like it was triple round robin best of threes as well in the summer, like round 3 to 5 technically thing. So basically that.
I mean, I think it would be good in a way because it would be more entertaining, right? Like you get more good teams, less bad teams. I mean, sorry, you can kind of tune in to the matches that interest you, and the good teams will play each other more frequently than they would play against the worst teams. And that way you can also see improvements between, let's say, BDS playing against NAVI, you know. You can see that like these teams are somewhat equal, so the games might still be entertaining because they are not playing G2, but they're playing against somebody that is closer to them. But then in playoffs, you still get these teams in there, you know. Like the Rise group still had 2 or 3 teams in playoffs, or even 4 teams potentially. Well, actually, they had 3 teams depending how well they do. So they, yeah, I mean, in this time it was only BNK that did BNK, Fearx basically that did very well, right? But yeah, I think I don't hate the format because I feel like that would make the hype games more frequent and they would be more entertaining, and also the other teams would play against similar level teams. And then probably on Saturday, Sunday, we would get a lot of good games, and on Mondays we would get a little bit worse games. But that would be the exchange, and we will have a higher viewership on the weekends, but a bit lower viewership on Mondays. At the same time, the games would be somewhat even, you know, because even when it's, let's say, G2 playing, it's still not entertaining when they play against a team that is much worse than them, and it's a clean 2-0. 25-minute games. Actually, normally they are not 25 anymore. They're like 35 in LEC. LEC games are very long. But even the stomps are very long, you know. And it's just like kind of boring to watch because they are stomping anyway. But imagine that G2 has to only play against Fnatic, KC, MKOI, and then one more team. Boom, banga.
Yeah. Carzzy, what do you think about the LCK season, that if you've been introduced to it as well? And I'm sure you watched the matches, right?
Yeah, I watched the matches from the like co-streamer point of view and like viewership point of view. So people are entertained. I agree with you. What you just mentioned. From the player point of view, I think it's also better because you just play so many games, you know? Like there is an unreal amount of games in the LCK, I feel like, in comparison to Europe. And I think that helps a lot to develop people and overall to make the games higher quality.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also like to add to this, just to have an example, LAC has 3 game days a week and maximum 2 BO3s a day. LCK has every single week 5 game days with 2 BO3s a week.
Yeah.
I mean, two BO3s a day.
So I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think this is like honestly a really, really good format personally. And I think it's maybe not like exactly perfect, but it's like near like what you could have like as a peak format, honestly. I think it would probably go in about like caps tier. What do you guys have to say about that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Can I add something on this format?
Obviously,
yeah. Because in my opinion, okay, one thing I like in this format as well is that it's possible for a team to start like with a poor season and and then come back, you know, and maybe win the split, you know. And in my opinion, like at least for a long season, a good format, you should be able to have like a miracle run, you know, like Schalke, like the Schalke miracle run, you know, because I think when a format allows that, you can have a lot more of storylines, you know. And obviously this year we did not have this in LCK, like the top teams stay the same. But I think if we repeat this format a lot of times, it will happen sometimes that, you know, one team will have a pretty bad start of the split, they will end up into a bad group, and maybe they will go to finals. And I think that would be super hype, you know. So I think that's also one thing I like about this format is I think it rewards like the good teams, but it's possible to come back. So I really liked this format. I think maybe one downside compared to the spring split format is, and this is more like my perspective, for newer viewers, but I think it's maybe harder to understand. Like if you're a newer viewer, or if you don't follow like the LCK every week, I think it can be harder to understand. But yeah, I think that's the only downside personally, and maybe that's in the good group you get to see matchups like very frequently, so they are less special. But at the same time, it's good practice, for international events. Like you often face top teams. It's pretty cool. And I even feel like if we have this in LCK and not in LEC, they kind of have an advantage, with the format as well. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
Um.
yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, sorry, I'm speeding up a bit because I realize we don't have too much time yet left as well. But I wanted to quickly ask, because we talked a lot of praises about the LCK season, but how much better is it in your opinion than the Spring Split, for example? I mean, for me, I would still say probably Spring Split is about Carzzy tier level. It's better than the other
So
ones.
it's mid?
Yeah, it's mid, it's not too bad. It's like middle of the pack. Sometimes we have like some good moments, like especially like against Heretics. Like sometimes, you have like those matches that give you a bit of hope, and then it plays out, and then you're like, I guess it could be better, It could have been better.
I understand.
I would not have in Carzzy tier because it's a simple format, and Carzzy he's a bit coin flip,
That's true.
He's a bit of a crazy player. So I think maybe I would put it more in the caps tier personally.
Oh really?
What
You
do
would
you
put
guys
it this
think?
high? But then
Yeah, I would put it here.
would we move up like the LCK season then?
But it's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I would not put it as in my opinion, it's a good format. I would much prefer it if it's like double round robin.
Yeah.
But since you are comparing it to like a 2-season formats, if you have this 2 times, it's pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you Wooloo said it right? Like you kind of want to say it's a good format, and that just you can't really put in Carzzy tier because then you have to say that Carzzy is good, right? And you don't even want to do that.
but
No,
wait. Do you like the spring split? format?
Okay. I like spring split format because I think it's the easiest way of making an average good format. Single round robin BO3. Boom, done. And each team gets to play each other once, and then you go into playoffs, and then 2 teams are out most likely, or maybe however many you want.
Yeah. So
I
you
feel like that's
the?
just
Sorry, bro. Sorry. All good.
no.
I just
Sorry.
wanted to ask,
I just mean that I would put in Carzzy tier because I think it's a normal average format.
I mean, I wanted to ask that if you like it, then if you like me, you could put it in the Carzzy tier.
Okay, I like it a lot. I like it
I mean-
so much. I wanted to stay there.
Okay. Then that's perfect. I agree.
Okay.
I think it's below the LCK season
Alright.
2025.
Yeah.
So let's send a message to Riot Games, guys. For next year, you would prefer to have the LCK format than full best of 3, every team faces each other. Like you would still prefer that.
You would take Bruce basically if it means like we can have at least like more matches, but like with better teams and stuff. Then I guess.
I would prefer that. It would mean less scrim days, more officials, more off days.
But I think they have no off days actually in LCK.
They don't have a single off day during the week.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so. I actually
Yeah,
don't
they
think
do.
they have off days.
I mean, we are gonna test if it can work with one off day per week in EU.
I mean, we already play less games in EU because we play only B of like 5 games, right? I think Europe is back to 5 games a day. You guys don't play 6 anymore, do you?
No.
No, like what? But to be honest, it is very, and I mean, it's for me, because I also was through this last year, and for me, it was still a little bit unreasonable that to play one more game, you use 2 or 3 more hours, because basically there was like this thing where they did 3-1-3, right? Which to like 7 hours for 6 games or 5 hours for 5 games. And I feel like it's fine to play 6 games, just play it back to back, right? And I guess LEC is I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they can do something at Worlds. But anyway, going back to the format, I would also prefer either the LCK season format or just Spring Split LEC, which was just averagely good.
Which you would still pick LCK format over Spring Split?
Yeah, I think from all of these that we have mentioned here, I would take LCK one, which is in Caps's tier. But I do think there is probably a way of making it more insane and making Faker tier. I just don't know what is it. But there's probably a step forward to all of this as well, right?
Yeah. Well, this is a good segue. We are really out of time. I think, Jankos, you need to go in like 5 minutes or something at this point. I didn't remember. I think you said at 9:30, so let's just move on.
I wanted to keep it around 1.5 hours.
Okay. But yes, let's move on to the very last thing, which is basically the perfect format. And this is a bit of a workshop. We can go a bit quickly, but I guess we'll just try to go one by one and each add like a point of like what would be a perfect format. So like you can all start like basically by adding a thing. Maybe like Jankos, like the first bullet point, what do you think is the most needed thing?
I would probably go like double round robin BO3. Or at least like no BO1, like at least double round robin BO3. I feel like that's like pretty reasonable. Unless there's a better way to do it, but for me that would be like a pretty good format, yeah.
Yeah. Carzzy, what do you think is the second most important thing?
Second most important thing? Everyone plays... Wait, that's already double round robin, no?
Yeah. So you play every team twice.
But maybe double round robin and burst of 3 can be 2 different points.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jankos trying to steal all the points.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't think about you. My bad.
I mean, I think what could be fun would be like the bottom 4 teams that are like kind of out of playoffs, or like just the bottom 4 teams playing best of 3s, you know, between each other to like make it, even if their score is like
a last chance kind of.
I don't know. Yeah, last chance. Like they just play best of 3s between each other to see who's gonna make it.
And
okay,
would
so
it be like
he's preparing for next year already? He has expectations for his team. yeah, like some guy expectations for Team Vitality. Good to know.
I think this perfect format will make no sense.
So wait, Carzzy, just to clarify, like would this be like a mini group stage? Would it be like a bracket?
Yeah.
Like
bracket, I'd say.
Okay. So like double elim bracket maybe, or single elim bracket?
I think single elim.
Okay. Single elim bracket BO3, and so it's only the best team that makes it from this last bracket.
I mean, since it's like 4, it doesn't make sense that only one. Actually, maybe yeah, and then the team should only one team, and someone else can figure out the rest.
Okay, cool. Wooloo, what do you think is the next point? I guess we probably have to talk about like playoffs and stuff, right?
Yeah, but if my perfect format is different than Carzzy perfect format, then final perfect format will make no sense, you know.
Yeah, we have to make a like Frankenstein monster or something.
Okay.
How do you salvage this?
I'll just give an easy point to I think it's important that teams have played the same amount of games. I think that's super important.
Okay. And at the same time as well, right?
Yeah, like you cannot have like 2 games difference.
At all times. Okay. Wait.
I mean, all times,
Yeah.
week maybe, yeah.
Wait, I have an idea as well, because for playoffs it's really hard to describe it. So maybe I can just open like Paint as well, and we can literally try to craft a playoffs bracket like in Paint or something. For the next one, wait. Oh my god, this is not going on great. What the fuck?
But
I'm getting trolled.
I think for playoffs you can. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
The playoff format you have in LEC now is good, no? Would you guys change it?
Wait, what do you mean? Like now?
Yeah, like what you have for playoffs now. Would you change playoffs?
No, I like the playoffs format.
The issue is that if we have like top 7 teams because we have the Carzzy last chance bottom 4, then it doesn't really work, you know.
Yeah, but it's just an idea. It's on Riot Games to figure it out.
I
think-
just ruined you guys. No,
I
you
think
can share
Carzzy is
your
trolling
ideas.
us a bit, yeah. Okay, but Carzzy, if we make it like 8 teams instead, then it works because like you have this like lower bracket, right?
No. But imagine like there is a seeding for all the teams above, right? And then the one team that makes it from the group is gonna fight like the 6th team, and then like the 5th team, and like you're just the miracle run.
Hmm.
Schalke, Gilius.
Okay.
I said I like formats with miracle runs, so
Okay. Wait, but
That's
actually,
This is
an important distinction is though, like I think LEC has had different playoffs format as well. Like we've had this one, for
yeah,
example.
this one was 8 teams.
Yeah, this is 8
So
teams,
this
but
one
like
was big.
every team start in upper bracket. You have the summer, so this is the summer one where there's like 4 teams in the lower bracket, 4 teams in the upper bracket, and then there's the spring one here as well, which was only 6 teams. So which one of these like do you think is the best one as well?
I think with a long season, it's better to spring split. But with a short season, it makes sense to have like 8 teams qualify with a decider, in my opinion.
I don't hate 8 teams, honestly. I would prefer the 8 teams anyway.
Okay.
Mm.
So wait, if we go 8 teams, do you go the single team one where everyone starts at the same, or the one with the low bracket? That like
No, wait. Actually, wait. This season, no. I mean the summer split one. The one we had in summer. I don't hate these playoffs in summer split.
Okay.
You have upper bracket, lower bracket, and lower bracket teams still have a chance of making the finals, but they just don't get 2 chances, I guess, because they are lower bracket.
Yeah. All right.
I
That's
feel like
skill
that's
issue.
fine. And
So-
and if you do 6 teams, then I would probably do like more games, I guess.
Okay, so we already have this. Let's move on, I guess. Do we have anything to add for like a perfect format then? Right now, it just
I mean, I
feels
wouldn't
like
mind-
we kind of have like only like the only change we have like from spring is only double run robin. Is this the only thing you want to change from spring? I guess
I mean, I
technically we
think
have a
that's
better
pretty-
like playoffs.
Like pretty reasonable, right? Like I think it's pretty reasonable because you don't need magic. You just need to make it solid, and
Mhm.
it's more entertaining.
Don't
I like
always
it too.
make first seed. Sorry. You can
No,
go,
you can
bro.
go. You can go, my lord Carzzy. Don't worry.
Let's make a coin flip for site selection. You know, seed one shouldn't always have the decision.
Wait, actually, that's a good point. Like, we need to add like more crazy things. Would you add like 1v1s for site selection in game 5 with shit like this?
I think so. Yeah, it's way more fun than just having like site selection always because you finished first. You know,
Yeah.
and in some formats, finishing first is even lucky. You know, so that's the issue.
I would probably like delete the game 5. I would probably just keep it for like site selection, you know. Site selection for like the BO5, you can make a 1-on-1. I think it would be entertaining, but it would be very random to have 4 games, silver scrapes, and then you'd go into a 1-on-1 game between mid laners,
Yeah,
you know, or
that's
something
true.
like that.
Yeah.
It's not making
Maybe
it's too crazy, too crazy.
Maybe it should be like 1v1 between the coaches in a ring. You know, that
Oh
would
my
be
God.
more fun.
Oh,
this
okay,
would be
I'm
so
all in
good.
for that.
Oh my God. Okay, do we have any more like crazy stuff we want to add to this, or is it kind of fine like this?
I mean, I would just love more games, but I don't know how to do it right. Like in LCK, they play 5 days. In Europe, I don't know how many days I would like to play. Maybe like Friday, Saturday, like maybe 4 days at least. You know, like more games overall.
Yeah.
And double around robin would make it more games, but I just mean that like more game days and no breaks. I think no breaks is important for me as well. I feel like we have too many breaks during season. I
Yeah,
think
we
like
can add no breaks. Yeah.
like in summer split even. Like in summer we had so many breaks already. Like I don't know that it just feels like every week there's a break from playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Also, like,
yeah.
we should also. It's a detail, but you know, on one week we had playoffs, you know, on Tuesday and Sunday, and then one week we had on Monday and Tuesday. That was a bit random. I think it should be consistent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Wait, I have a
Consistent
question
game
as
days
well.
on match days.
Someone in the chat is asking between Mac and Freddy, who would win the 1v1 fist fight for site selection?
I think Freddy's taller, no?
I mean, I don't know. Depends how dirty Freddy plays. You know, because Mike has kind of long hair. So depends on the rules.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I don't know if either one of them really like trained anything, any martial arts. Probably not. So
All right.
I think Meg would win.
Do we have anything to add, or is this good like this?
I really like it this way.
I think there's just this thing over here that's a bit like sticking out, you know?
No, but it's a good idea. It's like let's
I
send it
think
to
if we
us.
had
It's
this
good.
format, we would win Worlds.
I mean,
If we
this
make
one-
LEC this format next year, we win Worlds.
I mean, let's see in 10 years. I'll tell you, the last chance bottom 4 guys, history will be made.
Yeah, what if the bottom 4, one team makes it and then they win Worlds out of that, you know? It's summer split, they make it
Yeah.
to Worlds. It's like kind of story of the RX that year.
Yes.
Not really, but kind of.
All right, perfect. Well, if we have nothing to add, then we can just do the outro and just say the last things we have to say before closing out. I know it's already pretty late. Also, I mean, obviously, thank you to both of you for coming over and doing this 2-hour almost podcast. So it was really nice to have you. I think the best way to just closing out is just to talk about obviously the fact that Madrid is happening very soon. I think Jankos, you're going to be traveling there, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there as a costumer.
Nice,
And as
nice.
a... I don't
Carzzy
know,
also
as a
tweeted
voice.
he will be in Madrid.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I saw
I'll be
it.
there as well.
Ah, fuck.
Carzzy, are you going to see your love, Vladi?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm gonna sub in for MCOY maybe in game 5 to bring former Medlines to another trophy.
Nice,
But yeah,
perfect.
I'm just going to greet the fans and
Awesome,
Jankos.
awesome. Well, I hope to
I'm
see
a
you
fan
there.
as well.
Oh, really? Are you gonna ask for Carzzy's autograph then?
I will ask Carzzy for an interview.
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing
Interview, okay,
content in
okay.
there, so...
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah,
We can do.
get him on your co-stream.
I get 600 per hour, eh? That's my
No, I
contract.
don't have a lot of viewers, you know. I don't earn that money anymore. You can get like a, I don't know. I can buy you a waffle or something.
Waffle sounds good. Waffle Brothers.
Waffle brother. Oh my, I miss Waffle Brothers.
I know. That's why I mentioned it.
Do you guys have any predictions, by the way, for playoffs? Just as the last thing, like, do you think that G2 is gonna take it and finally be able to win a split, or is the upper bracket curse too much for them?
My personal opinion is that G2 should win this split because then it's gonna be very interesting. We will have like 3 teams winning each split, and that's like the best storyline. And also, I think they are playing the best out of all the teams. But let's see if they choke in finals again. You know. Not.
Yeah. Jankos, do you agree with that?
I just want a strong team that is gonna represent us, and G2 is looking the strongest right now. And I also do think that they grew a lot throughout the season, so I think they will most likely win unless, you know, they choke it massively in the final. Let's also not forget that whichever team plays against G2 on Sunday will have the advantage of playing in a big arena before them. G2 will have like the scouting info on them, but that team will have the arena experience, right? I don't think it matters much in the LEC studio, but I think when you play outside home, let's say, and you play in a new place and it's going to be a massive arena with a lot of fans, then let's say play on Saturday is going to make a difference, I think, to, you know, feel comfortable on Sunday.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I guess the very, very last question, and then I'll let you go, is can we be hopeful for Worlds for Europe, or is it doomed again? Are we finally making out of Swiss? Like, come on, guys!
I think we will
you
make
guys
it
are
out
the
of
pros.
Swiss
Like,
this time. But like G2 was, by the way, G2 was very unlucky these 2 years. I mean, okay, you cannot say that fully because they in the end did play against NA, for example, and lost. So it's not like they were fully unlucky because in the end they did have like the tougher games to make it out, but they also failed their good chance of making it out. But I feel like we will have at least one team that's gonna make it out. Like surely, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean we have fucking
one team
like
is gonna make it out for sure.
Yeah, like LCS EV is fucking flaming us in the chat, like calling like LEC trash and saying that fucking LTA is better, but like LTA is not even a real league. Like who even knows what LTA is? Like I don't know. It's so doomed. We really need to beat them this time.
We are gonna
I agree.
beat everyone except Fly.
So we are literally not gonna beat them. Yeah. So Carzzy just said that we are not gonna beat them. He said we will.
GG.
No, I think it's certain. At least one EU team has to get out of groups. There's no way we aren't unlucky again. at least one of them.
For sure, one of them will make it copium. Like surely they will.
I actually think that. I actually believe it.
Okay, but
I
Wooloo,
actually
like
think
last
it's
year,
copium.
you were putting like G2 top 4 or something as well. Like,
Yeah, but I got unlucky.
it's fine. It's
I mean, I was watching a lot of LCK games, and I do think the quality of gameplay is so much different. Like, I have never watched as many LCK games as I did for the past like a month, and I mean, it's gonna be hard to win worlds, but I think being lucky enough to make it out of Swiss stage, I think it's possible.
All right. Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. We had a pretty lengthy chat and a lot of interesting points. Again, I want to thank all of you for coming over and joining us on this podcast. It was really nice to have you, and obviously your expert analysis. Really happy about that. And yeah, for now, I hope you have a good night, and hopefully we'll be seeing all of you in Madrid in just a few days from now. It's going to be exciting. A lot of pretty hype matches. And yeah, do you have any last words you want to add before we leave? Maybe.
I mean, big appreciation to all of you, I guess, for making it happen. I hope that we made people entertained. And if you guys have nothing planned the weekend, remember LEC is happening. I know there was a 1 week off, but we are back. We are back this weekend. Banger games incoming.
Even if
Thank you
Riot
so much,
is
guys, for
adding all
inviting me
these
here.
weeks. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carzzy and Jankos, for joining. It's super nice of you, and it was really interesting. It's nice to have the perspective, of pro players, especially with your experience that on the format, and how much more you like best of three is interesting. But it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would just like to apologize because I think that my last stand elimination ruined your guys' plan. You wanted to show your POV of how the perfect format should work, and I ruined it. So I would really like to apologize for that.
No, Carzzy, it's fine. It's fine.
I think it's good to have a little bit of spice to a perfect format.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
All right. Well,
I
thank you both again. We'll be letting you go now, and also thank you to all the viewers for watching. Hopefully you will be tuning into the next podcast. Make sure that you stay up to date with the Sheep Esports social media channels. You can find them below. And yeah, we'll be seeing you soon. We'll be bringing you some interviews from Madrid in a few days as well. And yeah, just hope to have some banger matches. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, and you can see the replay of this live stream on YouTube later.
That's true. That's true. Yes, we will be uploading it on YouTube very shortly. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and see you.
See you guys.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
guys.
one.
Bye bye.
Thank you.